Welcome to the Rookie Scale Remote Film Room. Joining me today is Baylor's Kendall Brown. What's going on, Kendall?
Hey, what's up? Going good.
Good, man. You enjoying sunny California right now?
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Nice, nice. I made my way up the PCH, did a whole week long trip from San Diego to San Fran, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, right before COVID, and Santa Barbara was probably my favorite stop along the way. I think that's an awesome place for you to set up shop here for pre-draft.
That's super nice.
Nice. Enjoy every second of it, man. Appreciate you taking some time to join here. Obviously, with you being one of the more high profile one and done prospects in the draft class, we're really excited to kind of dig into your game, maybe what translates both offensively and defensively from what you bring to the table, a couple minor areas to, potentially improve on as you make this transition to the pros, and just kind of kick it back and forth and talk some hoops. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So we're going to first jump into the offensive side of the ball here, where I think one of the things that stands out most as far as your strengths is your instincts and your ability as a cutter. So we'll see this first one here, quick back cut, recognize when the guy's back is turned and kind of take advantage of that. And a lot of these are kind of you lurking here from the baseline, recognizing when somebody's helping and then sliding across right here. Do you want to maybe give me a little bit of perspective as to what's going through your mind and what you're watching for as your teammate starts getting downhill, and how you kind of pick that exact moment as to when's the best time to cut, and maybe the nonverbal communication aspects with your point guard and all of the things that go into this.
Yeah, like this clip, I touch, I go out to the corner, and then as I see James starts driving, I just
Yeah.
immediately my guy's too far off. Immediately I just go, and James knows that, throws it up, and easy dunk.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when you're a freakish pogo stick athlete like that too, to be able to give him such a margin for error for making those lobs. But it's not just the lobs, right? You have this deft finishing too, right? He does this little spin move, and then right here, I think we see, your timing and instincts are just great, and you guys have great synergy right here when this guy's back is turned.
Hmm.
But it's not always the lob. You catch this bounce pass, and this isn't wide open right here, right? Like, they've got good help defense there, but you're more than just a dunker. You've got some touch and some finesse as a finisher as well.
Yeah.
We see another lob opportunity here. I just feel like this gives your teammates such an out for, a lot of guys aren't able to make these kinds of finishes, right? Like, that one wasn't even necessarily the best pass in the world, but
Yeah.
again, you did that same thing where you get out there and you just kind of change directions here at the 3-point line and just explode toward the rim. And even though this wasn't exactly on point, you've got that reach, you've got that vertical to kind of finish it. I guess what else is it that is there anything that goes in specifically to setting your guy up as well? I mean, some of this are from them going and helping, over helping and whatnot, but some of them I think are created by you
Uh,
kind of setting the guy up. So what goes into that?
it's really just me, I would say get underneath them, the lower arm underneath them. That's way easier because because I can see when I'm underneath them, I can see if they turn their head. So when they turn their head, that's when I just go. In that clip, he helped up. I just went, and especially in this clip, I got underneath and he's looking, so I just went, and then James got downhill, passed it, done. And
Yeah,
one,
I think it seems like you're just really assertive when you see that angle is there. You don't waste any time in getting to it. And these guys, if they're standing upright like this, they just have legitimately no chance of recovering against you.
yeah,
And I mean, that's just a nice poster right there. But that's such a weapon for that you'll be able to bring with you to the NBA level as well. That just that ridiculous finishing at the rim and being able to cut like that. I think it translates pretty cleanly. But it's not just your finishing that makes you interesting on the offensive end. I think a lot of these guys that are springy athletes like you that are 6'8", a lot of times that's like a one trick pony type skill. But with you, that's not the case. You're also a pretty instinctual, deft passer. could you maybe give me a little bit of perspective before we dive into the clips? Growing up, did you have a lot of experience with the ball in your hands, creating for others? Like, how did you become, such a good live dribble passer?
Yeah, growing up, I played 2 years up with my brother, so I was always the smallest one. So I played the point guard, and as a like 2 years younger kid playing point guard, I just wanted to get like others involved. So like I was always getting them touches and getting them, and I just progressed. And as I got taller, it kind of got a little easier to find people and they make
Yeah.
easy passes.
Yeah, and I think the height really does help you a lot. I mean, on this one, maybe you can just give me a little perspective as to what you're seeing here, right? So first you make this catch. What is it that you see to attack here?
Yeah, we work on this a lot of practice. It is catch it and rip and go right away. So got a little
Yep.
step, ripped and went, and then I seen John's guy help up, and that's just an immediate like pass, lob, dunk, whatever. Helped up a little
Yeah.
bit, pass.
Yeah, and not a lot of 6'8" guys have the instincts or the touch as a passer to execute something like that, right? It's like as soon as you see this guy step up and help, it's just a little finesse, little
Mhm.
touch pass right there for the lob. And I
Easy
think
catch.
that, yeah, and I think especially in the modern NBA, we see a lot of guys, whether here's another nice lob in the open court. We see a lot of guys that play the four. Need to be able to make some of these passes as like a short roller as well. And I don't know that we necessarily get into short roll passes in this clip package, but like, these live dribble ones are great. But I think that it translates pretty cleanly as well to maybe setting some high ball screens, rolling into the free throw line, and then, making decisions from there, like how Draymond Green has done for years. I think you could bring,
Yeah,
some of that to the table as well.
right. Like
Um,
that one.
Yeah,
Uh,
here, let me bring it back to the beginning of this one right here. Little pick and roll action. All
yeah,
right.
his defender came up, went the other way, and then I want to like get in between the guy that was guarding me and then the guy that switched on the flow. So I kind
Yep.
of brought it back a little bit. He went up, and it's just like an easy dime. Like I try to get as many people on me as possible. So 1, 2, and then dime.
Yeah, I mean that was great. I mean the little crossover there just puts the
Yeah,
defense in such a pinch, makes him make a decision, and then you just have such quick instincts to react. And again, I think the height helps you there because that's a relatively big guy guarding you, and you can see over top.
yeah. That one good cut, Matt. Find him corner. Yeah,
Yeah, and I like this one too because it's not always the lobs and the flashy little passes to cutters, right? Like this one, you just rip through again.
yeah.
That's not an easy pass to see, man.
I seen out the corner of my eye. JD help off way too far on get on flow, and that's like automatically you got to hit the corner. So that's what I did. Matt hit the shot. Could have been a little bit of pass. I think he tipped it a little bit. He tipped it a little bit, or else it would have been on
Yeah,
him. But good shot.
yeah. Matt's ready to catch and shoot, anyways. Doesn't need to be a perfect pass for him, right?
Yeah, right.
But
Fact.
yeah, that's a great look, though. I mean, those are the types of passes that I think really differentiate you from a playmaking perspective. Here's another one here as well, right? It's not like the sexiest, flashiest pass, but your ability to kind of be able to, like you did in this one, get into the teeth of the defense here, force
Yeah,
some help, and I
like
mean,
4 people came into the paint. Like I could have hit LJ or Matt, really. So um,
yeah, exactly. And you put that much pressure on the defense, right? Like that
mhm,
rim gravity that you have. If they don't help, you're just going to punch that. And this
yeah.
guy maybe helps in a little bit too much, and I feel like you recognize it perfectly there.
Mhm. One of the best shooters in the country. Splash.
That's right. And then these couple clips right here that we're going to go through, I think this is something unique that I really haven't seen anything like this from any other prospects in the class. Is that as soon as you get an offensive rebound, there were probably 15 more clips like this where as soon as you get an offensive board, your head is just up and you're looking for an advantage situation. And right there, that was a quick, slick little pass back out to the shooter. This one is a little zip down to Matt again. And I think there's one more here. Could you maybe, I guess, give me some perspective after seeing those three? Like, what is your mindset when you're crashing the glass for an offensive rebound? And, how are you able to quickly react like this to, to find open shooters or open cutters after offensive boards?
Yeah, we work on like as soon as we get the rebound, offensive rebound to hit dagger threes. We work on that every day. So like in the Kansas clip, as soon as I got it, I could tell there was like two people on me, and I could see like out the corner of my eye, flag was right there. Just a little touch pass to him, hit the three. And the Matt one, uh, caught it in traffic, and like had to get it out quick. Like this one, out quick. I could see him make the read, easy layup, and then the next one, yep, got it. I was looking for a corner three, seen him cut, and then it's just an easy read. Look out for
Yeah.
the
And
corner three and cut.
I mean, offensive boards are, one of those times in the game where the defense just ends up being an absolute scramble mode, right? And,
Yeah,
but not everyone can take advantage of that. And I feel like you definitely stick out from the pack as far as, being one of the best in the class at that for sure.
yeah,
So next we're going to move over to a potential improvement area offensively, and this is no surprise to you, I'm sure, as far as like an area for potential growth being with jump shooting, right? We're gonna hit on a few here in the North Carolina game where you went 0 for 4 from three. I think that in watching all of your 3-pointers back, a decent amount of them come up a little bit short and flat.
yeah.
Is this something that I guess that you've studied or you're aware of, or that you have any kind of imminent plans to work on during the pre-draft process, or what's your sort of outlook for trying to maximize what you can be as a shooter?
Yeah, early thing is just I think it was a little fatigue in this game.
Yeah.
I was sick previous and didn't practice for about 4 days coming up to these games. So I think it was a little bit fatigue, but yeah, just like staying like a little forward in the shot. I lean back a little bit when I shoot. So I just been working on like just leaning forward more and like keeping my hand above my head to get the right arc. But yeah, this is a bad shooting night for me.
Yeah, and like your percentages when it's all said and done weren't bad, right? I think it was
Yeah.
34 or something percent. Like that's not a terrible percentage from three, but then one of the kind of flow through effects though from not necessarily being the most willing shooter, like not taking that many of them, is that sometimes, instead of taking this 3-pointer right here, if you force it to the rim, sometimes these are some tough looks that you end up opting for instead of just knocking down the three. So I feel like if you just can continue to work on that and become a more confident shooter, even if it's just catching shoots from the corners or something, I feel like that could go a long way
True.
to just opening things up for you a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
And I mean, from my perspective, I feel like jump shooting is one of those areas that is more improvable, more easily improvable than a lot of other areas, right? Like you have great instincts for the game, great feel on both ends. Like that stuff is hard to teach. That stuff that comes a little more naturally, or that you kind of learn as you're growing up in your early development years, whereas shooting a couple tweaks here and there can go a long way. So
Yeah.
definitely something that I'm sure teams will be interested to see how you fare in that regard in the combine and during workouts. And, you have ample time here the next couple of months to start working through that for sure.
Yeah.
So next we're going to move over to the defensive side of the ball. So I think what stuck out to me, I mean, you're a really good defender all around, but what jumps out is your level of activity, how quick your hands are, how active you are, and being so disruptive in help. So maybe we can just start with this one from the top against Texas here. A little goofy situation up here ends up with this guy getting downhill with Matt chasing him, and it looks like you're just following a cutter through the paint right here. But what is it that you see where you decide to dig over and help and end up making this play on the ball?
Yeah, see, he really just like drove into me, and I was chasing my guy, so I really like stopped at the block, and I was like ready to help on him, and I was pretty sure like he was thinking about passing it out, so I'm automatically I was had to get my hands up, and I could easily get a hand on the ball, and that's what I did and got the steal. So he trying to
Yeah.
pass it out.
Yeah, I feel like you do it. I mean, this is another one, right? Like they're setting
Yeah,
this flare screen right here for this shooter out here, but it feels like you do a pretty good job of fighting through that. This guy's like grappling your arm right there, but you're still able to use your length and your strength to get your hand up and impact that.
Yeah, because knowing I was caught behind the screen, I knew he was going to try to pass it to the flare, so I just jumped it right away and got the dunk.
Yeah, and it feels like you have a good instinct for passing lanes, which we'll end up seeing with a few more of these clips, right? Like that's another one you're able to both kind of help, like at headed toward the nail on the dig, but then also have the kind of ability to then jump back out and get a hand in the passing lane when he opts for that, right?
Yeah, a little dig and then immediately hands up and deflect. This one, always good to get the hands up. Because Flo helped really high, so it was either he was gonna try to pass it right away or like try to dribble out. So get the hands up, steal.
Yeah, and I think you were really consistent in making these defensive impact plays here. Another really good dig on JD, right? Another jump in the passing lane right here, getting some easy transition offense. Like just being able to rack up some easy points like this and make some impactful defensive plays like that can really kind of change the flow of the game. Like that one there, big moment, 3-point game, coming down the last 10 minutes there. Those things can really change the game. And I feel like we saw a lot of those from you in big moments. This one here, yeah, I see you're smiling already. This was one of the best highlights from you. I think a lot of this like really quick 2-foot explosiveness like this we see with the crazy dunks on the offensive end. But go ahead and walk me through this one. It looks like you're eager to have the rest of this clip play.
Yeah, if I start about this one, like in the first half, I was a little late and went up to block it, and he caught me a little bit, a little slight. So I wasn't gonna let that happen again. So this time I was ready to be there and block it. Like it wasn't gonna happen again. Give me that.
And I mean,
shift too.
Yeah, and it's a really good read by you, right? You see this pick and roll action happening at the top, and your guys in the corner over here, but I think you do a good job of kind of balancing, knowing when to help or when to kind of shuffle across right there. And that's just perfect timing. And not a lot of guys can get up off 2 feet like that quickly and that vertically. I feel like that's something that we could even see a little bit more from you at the next level is some of this help side rim protection stuff, right? Like dug through all your film, saw a little bit of it here and there, but do you think that that's an area that maybe, if you're playing the 4 sometimes at the NBA level, that you'll be able to provide some help side rim protection?
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see myself doing that for sure.
Yeah. So the next area I wanted to touch on after getting, one more little help side block there as well. And I think maybe one final one here. Maybe walk me through this one, because this one seems like you're just kind of a heat-seeking missile, just kind of like timing it out, waiting patiently, and then you just explode towards it. So I guess what were you seeing here? Is it something like about the scouting report that you know that he's just going to try to get the whole way to the rim on this? Like, what is it that you're seeing to be able to time this one out?
Yeah, it's definitely he likes to get to the basket and usually likes to jump into the body a little bit. So I was kind of like waiting for him, and then try to get it up high, and I went up and got it.
Yeah, that was good patience
and got it.
Yeah, really clean block there as well. So I think the improvement area that we're going to hit on quickly here on defense, which again, you're a really good defender for the majority of the time. I think every once in a while you can get caught, given the nature of what we were talking about before, how you can be like pretty aggressive, getting into space, jumping, passing lanes, like making these impactful defensive plays that cause turnovers and really disrupt the offense. Every once in a while that has its downside too, and kind of getting caught on some back cuts and getting caught on stuff like this. So maybe we can just kind of go clip by clip. And if you want to provide some insight on maybe what you see and what you could have done better in these situations, that would be interesting.
Yeah, and this one I just got a little too high on Ochai. He's a great shooter, but I need to stay like underneath him, like stay on his hip a little more, and because that just allowed the back door, and I was just a little too aggressive on that one.
Yeah.
This one, there was just some miscommunication on my part. I thought we were still in the zone, and I just messed up a little bit and left the shooter. Should have just stayed with him, but yeah, that was on my part.
Yeah, I know Sean's a good shooter, but yeah,
Mm,
sometimes that'll happen with the communication stuff. I think we see a miscommunication on this next
yeah,
one between you and Matt as well.
yeah,
A little like switch, no switch type situation here.
mhm, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean those will happen too. I think this one is one of a little bit more avoidable, right? Like
yeah. Got a
just
was wasn't flat, and I just got two turned and just watching the ball.
right,
So got
right.
open.
Yeah, that's just a classic ball watching one, and those happen from time to time.
Yeah, same with that one. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and these like these happen to everyone. These are a little bit of nitpicking. I guess the Iowa State game maybe was a little tougher one where a few of these ones happened, but you guys had like a 15 or so point lead there
mhm.
to hang on to.
In the zone, you always gotta like box out because it's way hard to rebound in the zone. And I just went in and uh, I forgot the second part. Like he crashes, and I just forgot to box him out and dunked it. I just went in looking for the ball instead of turning around and finding him.
Yeah, and like like we're saying, these kinds of things happen, but when you eventually, in the coming months here, make your transition to the NBA level and in the role that you're likely to play, just kind of figuring out how to get that perfect balance of
Mhm.
making those disruptive impact plays that we hit on in the strengths while kind of avoiding some of the avoidable ones there, the less aggressive, the ones that aren't aggressive mistakes, but are more so just the ball watching or out of position type mistakes. I think just cleaning those up just a little bit will go a long way and kind of rounding out your already super impactful defense.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Cool, man. Well, that was fun kind of running through all those clips. You're definitely one of the most interesting prospects, I think, in this class from a combination of pure athleticism and instincts on both sides of the ball. But before we go here, wanted to ask you two questions that I like to ask to kind of wrap this up. So the first thing is, could you maybe explain to me your why? What is it that drives you to be the best basketball player that you can be?
Yeah, I'd say just my family. They've done a lot for me growing up, and I wouldn't be here without them. So I just want to be able to help them out and take care of them in the future. And then just like not being satisfied. Like I always think I can just be better and better. So that's really why I do it.
Yeah, I mean, those are two great sources of motivation, both the family and just the internal drive. I mean, if you have those two things fueling you, nothing can stop you from achieving what you want to.
Mm.
And then the last question I like to do is just to kind of give you the floor to make your pitch to any potential NBA teams that are considering drafting you. Who is Kendall Brown, and why should they bring you into their organization?
Yeah, I'd say just a great two-way player. Start on the defensive end, get out in transition, run, let the game come to me, and then just moving without the ball. Like every NBA team got their guys that can score, and the easier it is for me to get touches off the ball, then it just makes everything open up, and I feel like I can fit into a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, totally agree. Kind of plug and play archetype right there can meld into a lot of different team situations and add value. Still 18 years old, right? Turning 19 next month.
Hmm.
I mean, that's what NBA teams are looking for, right? Wings with size that can play D and complement stars. I think that you kind of bring all of that in spades. So, wishing you the best of luck here throughout your pre draft process. Looking forward to the draft and looking forward to seeing where you ultimately end up, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.